Hello, hello, and welcome to another edition of Soul-icious. That's the show that's all about everything soul. That's soul music, soul food, soul clothes, and most definitely soul attitude. I'm the host with the most, Reggie Saunders, and today it is my distinct pleasure to have as a guest on Soul-icious the one that I call Mr. Incredible, and I'll tell you why I call him that in a minute. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, for my friend and soon to be yours, Mark Hauser. Mark!
Yay!
How you doing, man?
Good, actually, good. I have a lot of time.
We're going to get into that, why you have a lot of time. Probably for the same reason I have a lot of time also, right?
I couldn't be better.
Great. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I've known you for a long minute. I don't know how long, but it's been a very long minute. And we've done some shows together and everything. We might get into that too. I'd like to know a little bit of not only about the saxophone playing, of which you're known for in that respect, but I know you have a brother.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other siblings?
Not as far as I know.
That's
I have to talk to my father about that.
The mailman or the mailwoman say.
Could be, you know.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Okay, for the entertainment kind of, I wouldn't say showbiz, but entertainment bug, if you will, were you the only sibling that got caught up in that, or did your brother also?
Actually, my brother, he was thinking about being a musician too, but, he decided at the end, through some circumstances, he decided to go another way, but he would be a very talented musician for sure. But no, I'm the only one, besides my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather.
So it skipped one generation.
The years back,
exactly right.
After the king and his couple friends. No, basically, my father was a musician too, and my grandfather too. And, actually I decided to, until 13 or 14 years, when I was 13 years old or 14 years old, was actually the time when I decided, okay, I would like to be a musician, whatever that means.
Okay. So it actually started later.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you wouldn't consider yourself, or let me put it like this, because you wouldn't say it about, well, maybe you would, but others would say about you, they wouldn't necessarily call you a prodigy, meaning that you started early, because prodigy is like 4 years old, he was blowing,
Yeah.
But
maybe I was, but my mother didn't tell anybody.
She didn't tell you until you were 14 or 15.
But the truth is, I grew up with music, a lot of music. My father always listened to so many different kinds of music. From Frank Sinatra to Elvis Presley, to blues, to B.B. King, to Bob Harper, Miles Davis. I grew up with that music, but I never really thought about being a musician.
Wow.
No, I was interested in sports. I wanted to be a lawyer, actually.
Okay, all right.
I still say it. If I wouldn't be a musician, I would have. I would love to be a lawyer. But I went another direction too. No, up until I was 13 or 14 years old. That's when it really, was one concert I went to listen to a saxophone player, and it just hit me. It's like boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. That's like. I guess, okay, in some ways you can maybe get some similarities out of being an entertainer in the sense of like interacting with people. Mm-hmm. As a lawyer, I guess in some ways you're kind of using some of those skills in some ways. It's different, but you can say kind of similar.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
you have to deal with people, you have to deal with different personalities.
Absolutely.
And when you're on stage,
and you have to adjust. Yeah. Absolutely. You have to be able to.
Know.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, I was sitting at home and I was trying to think of a word that would describe how you play the saxophone. And several went through my head, but one stuck. Charismatic. Charisma. You when you play, you play with so much charisma that anybody that's within ear distance, they're gonna drop whatever they're doing. And I've seen it, so I know this.
That's a great compliment.
Well, I've seen it. I've seen it, and to me, it's directly from the heart. And I think I'll put out the reason why, because a lot of people have charisma in a certain way, but they don't really. It's almost like energetic charisma, like check me out, this and that, or whatever. And I know we joke a lot. We joke a lot about different things and stuff. But the sincerity when you play is so attractive. And it doesn't matter if you're playing loud, medium, or low. It pierces through whatever somebody else, and this is, I don't know how you, let me ask you this. How do you see, what is your mindset when you're playing? When you go to a show, it doesn't matter what type of show, you go to a show, you're going to be playing, and when you start playing, where do you go in your mind? Do you go to a certain place, or maybe not? I'm not sure.
Actually, you don't want to know what. There's so many different things in my mind.
Make up something.
I cannot even tell. Sometimes
you can't say it on air.
Sometimes I have to laugh about myself, but what I'm thinking about, because some of the musicians are like maybe a little bit nervous. I'm going on stage, and I'm like, I want to have this motorcycle. I really want to have this motorcycle. But the thing is that the truth is, and I will never forget what my grandfather told me, who was a great musician. He played many different instruments. He was a great jazz piano player, and I learned a lot from him just by listening to him. And he told me it doesn't matter how fast you play, how your technique is, everything. What matters is that as soon as you play, that you're unique. That they can always recognize you. It's like a voice, You hear a singer, a famous singer, and you hear the voice, and after 2 seconds, it's him or it's her.
Absolutely, 1000%.
And for me, that's one thing I wanted to. I was always searching. I'm still searching, but I was really always searching to have my own sound. Of course, every saxophone player is searching to have his own sound, but I was really. I tried so many things, and then started working on mouthpieces, changed them, and then I messed it up, and then I took another one, and changing, and then listening to great saxophone players, from every area, it doesn't matter, from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, just taking out things, and then putting their sounds together to have my own sound, taking out what I need, But very important for me is I love to play saxophone. As soon as I start playing saxophone, I'm just happy, I don't get bored about it, nothing. It's just like every time there is something I can change, I can make better. I'm thinking about after a concert, I'm thinking like, I want to do this different. So always searching, I think, is very important, and to have his own sound. It doesn't matter as a singer, how it is.
Absolutely.
Or as an instrumentalist, piano player, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
To have his own sound. Yeah.
Absolutely. I concur 1000%. And what's also attractive is the rapport that you have with the audience. Tell me how important that is to you.
It's very important to me. In a way, it's very important. In a way, it's. I always say, it's a thin line.
Okay.
I actually try not to look at the audience play. I don't like to play with my eyes closed, but I have my eyes open, but I'm in my own world.
Exactly.
Because, maybe you see somebody in the audience like,
right.
But this person doesn't mean it in a bad way, It's just, it can happen. Look at this person like, oh man, I played the best solo of my life, like, But he doesn't mean it in a bad way.
Right,
so
right.
I try not to take too many impressions from the audience, but I still feel the audience, of course, after soul or after we finish the song, the energy comes back.
Absolutely.
But I really try to keep a certain distance to the audience, not to watch everybody, ooh, does he like it? Does he not like it?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Playing, giving my best,
Absolutely.
and at the end, you feel it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just said everything I was thinking.
This guy don't give a shit. But
I was going to say kind of something in that
Sorry.
direction too. No. But I can appreciate that. And I think not only other artists, but also people that understand the sincerity of an artist. It's not that they don't care, but the best way to make that connection that I found is that you be the best version of you.
Yeah.
When you're on that stage. And immediately everything else will take care of itself.
Yes. I have to say one thing. One thing really, really bothers me or can make me really mad. Sometimes there are people, they just talk. And talk. And you play a ballad, for example, and maybe they don't realize it, or they don't mean it in a bad way, like I said before, but they don't have these feelings like blah, 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 and you're like, ba-boo-doo. It's like, oh, please shut up, just for 5 minutes, But like I said, I try to keep the distance.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's true. But I mean, you've been to several concerts or shows, and I know I've been to, and I think we've been to a couple together, where when we go in, though we are hired to play, people know that we're coming and we're playing. Still, the initial part of the show is that we are the, we are the background music of the first part of the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not background music, but for them, it's like, and then what happens? Someone comes up, can you play a little bit lower? Can you? And it's like, and then sometimes people come up and they say, can you play a little bit lower, like 2 or 3 times? I said, well,
we always try our best.
would you like me to do a Milli Vanilli or something and not play it all?
But there are different situations. For me, if you know how it is. For example, we play a gig, like for a big, like let's say a bank or insurance company,
right?
Whatever. Then I know it's not a concert, basically.
Exactly.
We play background.
There you go.
But that's a whole different story. That's a whole different thing.
Absolutely.
Than when we play a concert.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's no problem if somebody comes up and says, "Could you play a little bit softer?" I mean, there were situations all these years it could happen that I say, no, I can't more. I can't play softer anymore because then I'm just saying.
Exactly.
No, then you don't need a band or a musician. But basically, it doesn't bother me at all if they have, if it makes sense, Of course, I'm not gonna play loud when it's like a business meeting.
Absolutely, it's not your first rodeo.
It's like I think to myself always, I can play however I want when I have a concert. That's a whole different thing. Then it's about art,
This is true.
I mean, it's always about art, but there are different situations.
Absolutely. And what I found, and I guess you have too, that. How can I say, organizers, people that hire a band, a lot of times they don't really know what they really want.
Yeah.
And they just hire, and then it's almost like they want to kind of use you as a jukebox.
And then we have to adjust like crazy.
Exactly.
How it is, and
you know what I'm saying?
We basically back everything up,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in times like that, I tell myself, most of the time I do this anyway, but I tell myself, and I also tell the musicians that I have, I say, hey, we're playing now for ourselves, You've done shows where people start, and you're starting, and they have their backs towards you, But this is where experience comes in, and this is what I want to get in with you. With experience, when experience will will let you know, will let you know that, hey, this is just the beginning. You know, the closer you play to the root of yourself, you know those backs are going to turn around. It's going to be one or two options. Either they're going to turn around and really enjoy what's in front of them, or they're going to get up and leave.
Yeah.
Most time, people stay and they get up. I mean, they turn around and they listen. To that. So, and I think with experience, comes wisdom. You could say that about any aspect of life, but we're talking about playing right now. Wisdom in the sense that we know, even if we play 7 nights a week, it's going to be 7 different types of shows for the audience. Even if the audience is a similar audience, it's going to be seven different types of shows. So we don't get upset. We are there, and we adjust.
Unless the food is not good.
This is
but let me tell you something about that. For me, the challenge is, you're talking about 7 different nights, for example, we're playing, and you never know what is going to happen. For me, the challenge is always to make the best out of it. And the people go home. They didn't come because of the music. They had to come because it's their business or whatever. They do business. But they go home and they say to each other, "Wow, did you hear the band? They were really nice, And for me, that's very important because playing a concert, you play the concert. I love it, of course. You love it. It's the best,
Right.
But many musicians don't know how to adjust to all these different situations, because you cannot go in there and play John Coltrane, full power, because it's not what they want to hear. So you have to adjust.
Absolutely.
Say, okay, I'm taking myself back.
Absolutely.
I play soft. Everything what they want to hear, blah blah blah, we play, and that's the challenge for me because I want to play in every situation perfect. Absolutely. I mean, I cannot play a hard rock with a hard rock band saxophone. They would need a distortion or whatever. But just in general, I want to always make 100% perfect, great job, and then I go home and say, yes, I did it. And it's not always easy, and a lot of musicians, I experienced that in all these years. They say, "Yeah, but sorry, man, that's my sound. I have to play that." It's like, no, you then play softer, and then you realize what means experience.
There you go. Absolutely. Speaking of experience and speaking of wisdom, I heard through the grapevine you bought your saxophone.
Pardon me?
Did you bring your saxophone?
No.
Was it? Can you just make one magically appear?
I mean, you think I'm going to play for free? Come on, Reggie, you know me.
I know. I've asked you to come on the show. I'm giving you only water instead of whatever. So I mean,
that's the first thing. I love water, but I'm nothing to eat. The other thing is, it's cold in here. I don't feel cold.
You didn't read the sign. You got to bring your own bag.
Yeah,
let's play. Yeah, let's play something. You play something. I'll come up with the song, and then we'll ask. I've got already some questions here.
Really soft.
This is Soul Issues. This is my show. You play as loud as you want. Okay, but not too loud. No.
I told you it's for free. I'm not going to play. You think I'm going to waste energy or what?
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to throw you an artist. Let's see. And I don't know.
But we just play something.
Play something.
We have the discussions.
There you go. You would play some, or I don't know. Easy, Use Me.
You know what we could play?
Okay, go for it.
Because normally they never play it soft. Yeah, we could play a soft version of. All
right. Let's go. Go ahead. I was going to jump in. Go ahead. yeah. Well, I feel good. Ha, I knew that it would, yeah. So good, so good. I got you. Ow, nice. I got my sugar and spice. Lord, I feel nice. Sugar and spice. So good, so good. I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know my love won't do you no harm. Hold you in my arms, love won't do you no harm. And I feel nice, sugar and spice. Well, I feel nice. I got my sugar and spice. So good, so good. I got you. Hey! Woo! I like it. I like it. I like it. I hope the audience like it too. I hope you guys love it. Anyway, that was great. Yeah. So fast forward. Berkeley. How did you get into that? What was your Berkeley Berkeley College? I always the Massimo said I always do it wrong. But how do you say it?
I don't remember.
Berkeley.
Berkeley College of Music.
Berkeley College of Music. Thank you. Okay. How were you introduced to it? What did you get a scholarship? How did you get in?
Actually, that's I actually wanted to study music in Switzerland because I didn't want to leave Switzerland. I never thought about leaving Switzerland to study in another country. But Berkeley always sends out some of their, what do you call it in English? They check for talents. They're checking for talents. You can go and have an audition.
A&Rs, or they send out different people searching talent scouts, I guess.
Talents, talent scouts. And then a friend of mine told me, hey, a friend of mine told me about that, but I never really thought I'm gonna audition. Mm-hmm. But then was my first year in St. Gallen at the jazz school, and then my teacher in St. Gallen told me about that. You should do it. And I said, yeah, where? He said, yeah, in the Italian part of Switzerland, I think in Lugano. Said,
okay.
Oh, no, not Lugano. I don't speak Italian, and then with the train and blah. Okay, I'll do it. So I went there, and I auditioned.
Okay.
And I got a scholarship.
Okay.
And I was afraid to tell my teacher in St. Gallen because he was the head of the jazz school in St. Gallen. He said, great, do it.
Wow.
You should do it.
Wow.
And he really, he supported me very much. And then I went to Boston. And I had a great time. I learned a lot. I met
great experience. Okay.
Great experience. I met so many musicians. And at that time, I don't know how it is now, but we were jamming all the time, practicing for jam sessions and everything. Had a great time. Met a lot of musicians and a lot of girls too. You
have to come to the next show if you want to find out.
I'm not going to pay. Sorry, because I think I have 4 or 5 kids there. No. Sorry, no. And then, I studied at Berkeley, and when I finished Berkeley, I wanted to go to New York, of course.
Right.
Because that's the place, you go to New York. I don't know how it is now, but, Trump was not around as president. It's a joke.
Is it?
So,
not.
So,
Go ahead.
No, but I went to New York. And, was playing. After actually a short time, a lot of musicians told me, New York, okay, there are so many musicians and, there's such a big, it's difficult to get the regular gigs and such a big competition. I said, that's what I'm looking for. I went to New York, and after a very short time, I was like playing in the afternoon with a jazz trio, then the second gig the same day at the 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock, 12:30 with an R&B band, and then at 1 o'clock at the bitter end, New York.
Wow.
Till 4 o'clock, like with a funk blues band. I was like playing all the time. And a friend of mine, I knew him from Berkeley, told me that, hey, you should audition for Manhattan School of Music. I said, no, because I already signed a contract in Switzerland to be on tour with a singer from Germany. But I signed it in Switzerland, that's funny, but it was with a singer from Germany.
Right.
But, and then he told me, yeah, just do it. And you know what? I decided to do it because I wanted to know where my level is.
Gotcha.
Where the competition, where I am.
Absolutely.
Where am I? And then I went there, and 1 or 2 days before I was supposed to leave for a 4 months tour in Europe, I got a call from the head of music, and he told me, you got the scholarship. And like, no.
It's like someone saying, you got the Grammy. No!
No, because I knew at that moment, oh, now I'm going to be in troubles because I want to stay here. I got a scholarship, great, but I have to. What am I going to do with the tour? You know, I have to find a sub or talk to the agent. And that was a little bit stressful. And besides that, my friend didn't get the scholarship, and I got it, and he told me about it, and I felt a little bit, hey, sorry, I got it, but I don't want it.
Exactly.
Horrible situation. But I paid my friend, was good. He went on vacation. Then, whatever, I decided to stay, and I organized everything was cool, and I stayed, and I went to 1 year to the Manhattan School of Music, and after that I stayed another almost 3 years in New York.
Okay.
And learned a lot.
Okay.
How to cross the streets.
Exactly, jaywalk without getting a ticket.
The English vocabulary.
So
I learned a lot.
Wow. So I'm going to ask you something about that in a minute. But when do you feel that you developed the Mark Hauser sound? When do you think, because we were just talking about that before, and I'll say it for you, you definitely have a distinct sound.
But I couldn't show it now. But when you come to
I know, exactly, right. You don't play your whole hand at the set. But you have your own distinct sound, and when someone hears your sound, oh, that's Mark. Oh, that's Mark. When do you feel that you developed that? When do you feel that came about? Or can you even say? I don't know.
It's difficult to say because, like I said, I was always searching. Always searching.
And I know you're still developing.
Yeah, still.
That's the thing.
That's the great thing about music.
This is beautiful.
It never ends.
Absolutely. There's no retirement plan.
I realized actually not in 1 minute. I realized slowly because more and more people ask me to play their band, to play for their studio session, and when of course I'm listening to myself, and I'm very, very hard on myself, with what I like and what I don't like, and actually the time in New York was a very important period of time where I developed my sound to a certain point. I was happy and I knew this is my sound. And when I always listen to other saxophone players in any style of music, of course I realized after a while my sound is different a little bit, but it's difficult to say.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
Yeah, I would say the time in New York, this period was very, very important for me.
Okay.
Because I played in so many styles. I played with salsa bands, jazz trio, R&B, funk.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's.
And I always wanted to have a sound which works in every style, except classical music. That's a different thing, Then you really have to change the embouchure and everything, or rock, the typical saxophone in rock music. This. That was never my thing.
Right.
But I always wanted to have one sound which works for all these different styles of music.
One thing I that is, how can I say, the reason that I like you as a person great saxophonist. Great, that's great, but that's one part of you.
3 sisters.
That has nothing to do with you.
3 beautiful sisters.
That has nothing to do with you. Whether it's true or not, it has nothing
I
to
know
do
you
with
hung always out of my place. You were not interested in my saxophone.
I just, you wonder, why is he always coming by to get a cup of sugar?
Yeah,
That's
so nice to my mother always cleaning the whole rooms and,
Which leads me into the reason that I cherish our relationship. And I feel just people in general, if they had this aspect in them, or if they use this aspect in them, what I'm about to say, their lives would be so much free-flowing, so much more easier to cope with things. And that's your humor. To me, that is an intricate part of who you are. It's almost like the part of the essence of what makes people want to be around you, because they know you're serious when you're playing, but when you finish playing, you're approachable. You're approachable. People will walk up to you, oh, that's Mark, But in the beginning, people that don't know you, they'll say, oh, wow, that was so amazing. And sometimes when you play, you blow people away so much, it's almost like in their minds, they're thinking, oh, well, he's an untouchable. I would never dare
because
to
they
walk
don't
up
know
to
me personally.
Exactly, to walk up to him. What a personality. Yeah. But then when you open the door and you walk towards them, or you invite them in, they're like, they almost like look behind them. Is he talking to someone else? And that is such a, how can I say? It's just such a beautiful thing to have, So I just wanted to finally get you on air to tell you in front of millions of people that I really appreciate you, that aspect of you. Almost more, in a way, even more than I appreciate your saxophone playing. And you know how I love your saxophone playing. Yeah. So that is even, to me, top. That's like the horse pulling the cart. The horse is your demeanor, how you are, how you interact with people, the genuineness of who you are. And the cart is the saxophone that comes along with it. It's like the extra.
Yeah, on the side, yeah.
Let's go right here to...
That's the only problem. I never learned how to drink, It's like, my mother told me drinking is like...
You drink water like you're eating hot soup or something.
But one thing to that is I'm not trying to be myself. I am myself. I never act. I'm not.
There you go. That's another thing. Absolutely.
I am myself. And people maybe who don't know me, they have to get to know me a little bit to realize that I'm honest. I'm not trying to be.
You're not trying to impress somebody or try to put your mask on.
You like me or you don't like me.
There you go.
That's
there you
it.
go. There you go.
That's it.
There you go. So check it out. Let's go to the board here and see what people are talking about. Coco or Cocasa, I guess. Want to become famous? Buy flowers, primes, views. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay, next, let's try this out. Exactly right. Jay, I don't know if you know Jay. Her last name is Nichelle. She's also a blues singer.
Okay.
And she said that was cool about what we did with sax and everything.
Thank you.
And my niece from Oxon Hill, Maryland, just wrote in and she said, awesome.
Really?
My niece. So you can say hi to Victoria.
Hi, Victoria. The mosquito likes it.
Exactly. Apparently so, right?
It's like, and I took a shower already 2 weeks ago.
So now let's talk about, before we get into the focus artists of the day, am I right to say that you were nominated for a Grammy?
Yeah.
Tell me, I know you're modest and you don't really talk about that so much, But tell me a little bit about that. How that came about.
Well,
Let the people know, man. Translator.
Yeah, you know, I mean, of course, it's like a big honor, but you know, for me, it's always strange to talk about it because,
Right. Yeah.
what should I say? You know, just a great saxophone. No, I was nominated, and I didn't even expect it because at that time, my agent, she put it in different, you know, in how to say in English, she promoted it on different
Categories or different?
yes,
Okay.
and in the internet and blah blah.
Exactly.
And, I think in New York, in the States, on the what is it called, the famous jazz high,
Not blue.
downbeat.
Downbeat. Okay.
And there was a little article about, no, they did like, they were listening to the CD, to my last jazz CD, and they were listening to it and they voted it really high, you know, it's like, wow, great, you know, like 5 stars is the maximum. They had like 1, no. I had like really good voting, and was like, I don't remember, but it was enough to be nominated. Somehow.
Okay.
I don't even remember how it happened, the whole thing. At the end, it was just a great compliment for me to be being nominated, because I don't know so many jazz musicians who were nominated from my country, so it's something special.
Absolutely.
That was a big honor, and everybody expects you then, you're gonna be one of the 10 best or something. No, it's not about that.
Right,
It's
exactly.
about money.
Just be honest. It's about the dough. Ray me. It's about the dough. It's about the
occasion,
money.
Rolex, Ferrari.
There you go.
No, but it was a big compliment to me, because this album they nominated, I wrote it. Believe me, the whole band was really, they know me, the band knows me,
Right.
but they were really annoyed. They're like, you know, piano player is writing me or calling me, when do you send me the music? Because tomorrow we have the studio session.
Right.
Like, wait, I have everything in here. Yeah, that's great for you, you know? So I had a gig in Switzerland, in Schaffhausen, and I was staying in a really nice hotel because I had like 3 nights there.
Right.
You know, and then I took 2 bottles of white wine, I still remember. And
Right.
I wrote the whole night before the studio session. I wrote all the music for this album.
Wow.
In one night.
Wow.
And the guy at the front desk was stressed, because I asked him, could you maybe help me to scan it and then we mail it? And said, no, of course, no problem.
Yeah.
But he didn't know how much, you know. So the whole night I went down and said, hey, Dimitri. You know, I was like, oh my God. So I was really proud of that, because I really wrote the whole music in one night.
Wow.
And the piano player, the band made fun on the gigs about me, because the piano player was holding the lead sheet, and you could hardly read anything because the scanner was not
Exactly.
good. You know,
Exactly.
It's like, that's what I got. And when I got to the studio, they were like, yeah, I can hardly read this. I said, listen, it's going to be okay. You know, they know me, I'm a little bit coding in this, but it came out great.
Great. Well, definitely congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Here we go. Maybe you know this person, Mario Sunglass, Seglis. Mark, nice guy, fantastic musician. Mario.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. I'm not really good with names, to be honest. I'm serious, but
I know.
thank you very much for the compliment.
Christophones, this guy is always here. How does live streaming change music, the music industry? I think he asked this question before. Mm-hmm. What do you feel about that? How does live streaming? How's that?
For me, it definitely puts musician and the audience in a different position. You know, I mean, there's a good thing about it, that it's possible to do that.
Okay.
Especially now in this difficult time, you know. But at the same time, I was asked quite a lot, many times, to perform concerts through streaming, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are at home and one guy's there, one guy is in this city, and you know, I did it once or two times, but for me, it's it's difficult, because I need to feel the audience.
Absolutely.
I need to feel the audience. You play and, it's not the same thing like when we are talking here. When I play, I need to have the energy from the audience. But at least we have this possibility in situations like that.
This is true. But you know what's interesting? That actually brings me to this point. I wasn't really going to go there, but I was watching American football.
Yeah.
Actually, for the last 2 days. And speaking of needing the audience, now they have these huge stadiums.
Yeah.
The only people that are there, basically, are the announcers, the football team, which includes the coaches, and the referees. That's it.
Imagine how that is when you have to play there.
This is what I'm saying. So what they do, I guess for a psychological uplift, that's probably one thing they do. Another thing they do.
LSD.
Right.
So many people.
But what else they do is that they have a backside, they have a track, a soundtrack, where when they hit.
Okay. Yeah. So it helps them like to do.
Exactly. Now let me throw this at you. How do you feel about that? Do you think, let's say, you know where I'm going with this. Let's say, we hope not, but let's say next year presents itself to be, that we're in those type of scenarios where we are, okay, we're doing 100 here, we're doing 3,000, then it's back to 100, then it's 300. Or some places, maybe people will start hiring us for virtual shows. How do you feel about that? Not that you couldn't do it, but how would you go about that? How would you?
If there is
do that?
I mean, like I said before, it's not really what I really like to do. But if there are no other possibilities anymore to bring some art to the people, to the audience, then of course I would do it. Of course. But let's say it's not going to be like that. I hope, of course, we have to think positive always. But at the other hand, if it's like that, yeah, of course I will do it. And about the question, how does it change the music industry? I think it gets even more now to the point that everybody's at home watching the movie he wants or listening to the music he wants or ordering the food to the house. Like people don't communicate anymore. So I think for me it's not really what I like to see, to be honest. But like I said before, that's how the situation is, and we have to make the best out of it.
True. 2 things on that. Excuse me. People are still hungry for live music.
Yeah.
And that is our saving grace, if you will.
Yeah.
As an artist that really likes to go out and be with the people and have that interaction with the people. People are still hungry. So as long as, the way that I say it, as long as that is the truth, we're going to find a way.
Yeah.
We're going to find a way.
I see it like that too.
We're going to find a way.
That's how I see it, definitely.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm saying I hope the best for the future.
Yeah, cool. Let's go to the focus artist here. We both chose this artist. Actually, you gave me about 5,000 artists to choose from.
Yeah.
So,
because I'm not a purist, I like so many.
And this man was in the top 2. As a matter of fact, I think it was the first one you chose.
Yeah.
Sonny Rollins.
Yeah.
Sonny Rollins, right here.
Wonderful.
Tell me about how he influenced you in your musical career. Sonny Rollins.
First of all, a lot of saxophone players would say, why did you not take as a first play John Coltrane,
right.
Charlie Parker? Of course, I could do that. I could have done that too. But for me, there is a story with this because my father took me to a concert when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
Before I even thought about being a saxophone player. And then Sonny Rollins was playing Zurich. And I was not even really into, oh no, I don't want to go there. And says, no, you have to hear him, he's amazing. I was like, oh, okay. So I went to this concert. And I didn't really understand at that point, of course, what he was doing technically, harmonically, phrasing, time, everything, as his ideas, bebop, hard bop. But the energy was amazing. And to see this man, I mean, he's probably around 88 or 86 years, but at that time he was like 12. No. So he was like, I would say, he was about in his 50s, late 50s. And that was amazing. And now, later on, we had this little music store in my town, and you could you could go in there. It was an old lady selling records, and she put the record on. You could listen to it.
Absolutely.
They don't even realize today. In these days, the young people don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. She put it on.
Right.
Whoa. And for me, it was the only guy in school in my class when I was 10 or 11 years old who liked this music. My friends were totally into totally different music.
Exactly right.
And I listened to this. My favorite album, Saxophone Colossus, Sonny Rollins. Beep-ba, do-va-do-va-ba, ba.
Right.
Ridiculous, just ridiculous. One of my favorite recordings. It's not this one, but it's ridiculous. Yeah. And he influenced me very, very much.
Really. Yeah. What's interesting about your playing is that you are a musician that finds pleasure in playing in all kinds of genres.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can love each one in its own space.
Like I said before, I always want to play the best. For example, you cannot play in a pop song. You cannot play a solo in pop music the same way you play it in jazz.
Right, exactly, absolutely.
Because you cannot, all these...
Feels are different, everything is different.
Now we have 8 bars and you play this perfect solo,
Right.
For example, Kirk Whalum, Whitney Houston, his solo,
Right.
I Will Also Love You, but
right.
Perfect. Or Sting in Brantford.
Right, right.
When he played with Sting, I mean, he's one of the guys, he can play any style. Perfect pop soul, perfect jazz soul, whatever.
Right.
And that, I was always interested in that. I'm not a purist. I'm bored quickly. I love jazz. I love bebop, hard bop, everything.
Right.
Swing, doesn't matter.
Right.
But I like, for example, for me, when I listen to Sting or Prince or
right.
Frank Sinatra,
right.
Elvis Presley,
right.
Elvis Presley, check him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he was a great artist.
Absolutely.
What was politically at that time is another thing.
Right.
We're not going to talk about this.
Right.
But or I love the AC/DC.
There you go.
Hard rock.
There you go.
I mean, come on.
There you go.
Or punk.
There you go.
Even if there are styles of music I cannot play with my saxophone unless I have like effects and distortion and everything.
Right.
But I'm still wow.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not a purist. I like to play different styles and always in that style.
Absolutely. And someone might call you an artist. You know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
So speaking of being an artist and all of those beautiful things, let's do some jazz. I know you don't know me as a jazz guy, but I like to dibble and dabble and double and double.
Again for free.
I've been putting the money under the table, but you haven't been reaching it. So it's like, your hand still stayed on the table. It's like,
I didn't bring my hand. Yeah.
Soon I will have an audience here, and then we can do a collective.
That was just a joke. That's what I mean. People who don't know me, they're idiot.
Right, exactly right.
People who know me, they know it's just a joke. Sometimes.
Sometimes. This live recording. I do a watch party on Facebook. So the recorded broadcast, people are gonna hear this and people are gonna start writing in, right? And they say, man, What a butt face! My God,
Yeah.
how do you get this guy on
What
there?
an idiot, you know. But you know what? I can live with that. There's no problem. I can live with that.
So, grab your sax and
We want to do a blues or something. What do you want to do? Oh, my
let's do Song for My Father. Or you just want to jazz it up. Song for My Father's cool. And we just play together. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Okay. Do it anyway.
Right, off it, of course. You know?
Okay.
So how do you want to do it? Do you want to do a slow verse or you want to do...
If that.
You want to sing the melody.
Yeah.
And I just back you up.
That's cool. Or you can get that. If there was ever a man who was generous, gracious, and good, that was my dad, the man. A generation so true, he would live like a king, 'cause he knew the real pleasures in life to be devoted to and always stand by me. So I'll be unafraid and free. This little song for my father, the things that no other can do. As I sing it to you. Play something. Yeah, man. This little song for my father, the things that no other can do. As I sing it to you, fasten his memory in time as his beauty shines through. For in my mind and soul, my heart will always hold a special place for him. It's true, it's true, it's true, it's true.
Hey, I haven't played that for years and it's such a wonderful song.
It's a beautiful song.
Ah,
It's a beautiful
Horace
song.
Silver. The good old Horace Silver. You know my grandfather.
Oh man. Do you know we only have 5 minutes left?
Why?
There's so many.
Oh,
Okay.
it passed so fast.
Okay. Get in. Okay. We're gonna split it like this. Okay. For 2 minutes, I want to give you the opportunity to tell me why haven't you called me more for concert? No.
Because you're fucking expensive, man.
All of that is true, but that's still no reason. No. I want you to tell me and the audience something that, how can I say this, that may have something to do with music, could have something to do with just you as a person. I would even go more in that direction about Mark Hauser. Tell me something about Mark.
I was born in 1971. November 30th.
No, serious. Tell me something.
What do you mean?
Okay. Life. How do you look at life? How do you look at life not only in these before and in these times? What is your past, your present, and your future outlook on life?
Okay. Good question.
TikTok.
First of all, because of my past.
Okay.
And you know me, I'm an extreme person. I like this, I like that,
right.
blah, blah. And I always, that's how I am. I go to the maximum. I try to go to the maximum. Because of my past, and actually everybody should be influenced by his past. Never think, oh, my past, I had this very bad experience because of that. No, you have to live today. So my past is my past. It's my history and my story. That's me. Good things, bad things, not so good things, great things, very bad things, whatever. It helped me.
Okay.
Or it showed me, or I was able to see that life is beautiful. I love life. I enjoy life. That's why. Basically, that's not in a mean way. I don't give a shit about, why did you do this, Why did that? Because I did. That's how simple it is. Why don't you do this anymore? Because I don't want to do it anymore. I look at it like I have one life. Okay. And I want to really, when I'm old or when I pass away, whatever, I want to say, like my grandfather was there when he passed away. Hey, it was great. I enjoyed life. So I look at life like a chance, like a it's like a gift, a present. It's difficult to say for me. I enjoy today. Yesterday was yesterday. I enjoy today. Sometimes not so much when when I have to go to the dentist or something. Then I don't enjoy it very much. But then it's really quick past.
Right.
And tomorrow will bring me whatever. I take it and I try to make the best out of it. Even sometimes it can happen that the tomorrow is not so easy to handle.
Right.
Then it's difficult to see the good thing in that situation. How much time do I have left? Because you take a look at the...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I try to make out the best of my life and enjoy it and be honest. I always, I want to see myself in the mirror and say, I did a good job. I did a good thing. I'm honest. I don't want to, lie. And everybody says, hey, you are not supposed to lie because then, God will do. I'm not even thinking about that. I don't want to lie because I don't want to lie. That's how easy it is, But that's why I'm saying it's a difficult question. Yesterday is yesterday, today is today, and tomorrow.
I think you answered it. And the thing is that, I think the moral of that story, of your story, is the more honest you are with yourself, you are able to give that honesty to others, and others are able to see
one
that
short
honesty.
Thing. I don't know how. Do we have time?
Go for it.
One very short thing.
Thank you very much. So no, go ahead. Go ahead.
One thing. I mean, I talk about everything. I'm very open. I'm not embarrassed.
Go for it.
I was in prison in South America. And, prison in South America is different than Switzerland is like it's like a vacation thing,
right?
And South America is different. And years after that, I was playing and touring with a great saxophone player from the States. He's very famous, and he's like 65 years old now, almost 70, and he's an Afro-American. He grew up with all the jazz music and everything, and he gave me the biggest compliment. We were sitting there, we had a rehearsal, and then we went to the gig, our first gig from the tour. We had like 20 others, and then he told me, man, you sound like a nigger from my neighborhood. And I'm like, what do you mean, man? Right. I'm not saying a name now. What do you mean? It's like, that's a great compliment. He says, you sound like from my neighborhood.
Right.
when I listen to you, you're not Swiss.
You're right, exactly.
You're not this Swiss
Exactly.
guy,
Exactly.
you know. And I tell him, thank you very much for that compliment. I know, no. But you know, for myself,
Right.
I was thinking about it, and I tell you, that was the prison. Because Miles Davis said, if you want to be able to play the blues, you have to live it. And that doesn't have to do with color of your skin or nothing. And this time in prison was very difficult for me when you talk about life, really difficult. And it changed me. You know, it changed me in certain things I didn't even realize in the beginning, but after I realized,
Right.
like in being honest and saying, no, if you don't like that, you don't like it. That's
Right.
me. I'm not playing games.
Exactly.
And not in life and not in music.
Right, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, we could talk until the cows come home and go back out again. This has been very informative, revealing, and I know I can call you my friend, and
Friend,
because
yes.
because
Yeah.
you are, and from day one, you've always been real with me.
You, the same with you. You know,
You've always
that's
been
why
real.
we connect so
we
easily.
connect, and we and you know, with this type of genuine connection, it's gonna be until our last breath,
Yeah.
no matter where we are.
Yeah.
So thank you again for gracing my show of Soul Issues.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you
been a
very
pleasure.
much.
I hope you had a good time.
Great time. You
Great,
know, even
great.
I played for free, but
Good.
I had a great. No, great time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you also for tuning in to another edition of Soul Issues. And please come to my next show. Always write in. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're thinking. I promise you, you're going to go back with something that's going to tantalize tickle your emotional thinking buds, if you will, if that's even a statement. But
That's beautiful,
those of you
Reg.
who know what I'm talking about, all right? So
Beautiful.
until next Monday, next Monday, always tune in, 8 to 9 CET time. This has been another edition of Soul Issues. I'm the host with the most, Reggie Saunders. See you next time. Peace.